Hello! Welcome to the first installment of a Moron's Guide. So the point of this series is a simple one. It's here to help guide you through some of your favorite video games and maybe even learn a thing or two. And this particular episode is about Fallout New Vegas, one of my personal favorites. I'm also going to do my best to not ruin the experience by talking about every minor little detail. After all, finding and figuring out things on your own is what I think makes video games so timeless and charming. Fallout New Vegas is a classic to many fans of the Fallout series and is widely regarded as the last true RPG out of the Fallout franchise. And can anyone really argue with that? Even with my slight bias of having played Fallout 4, which was their next major release, as my first Fallout game, I can completely agree that Fallout 4, while still a good game in my opinion, is not good at being an RPG. Like for real, Fallout 4 is an RPG like the skeleton is an Olympic sport. While it's technically in the same category, are you really going to play Fallout 4 for a true RPG experience? Well, let's keep the Fallout 4 talk in the Fallout 4 video, shall we? Keep in mind that I am only focusing on the main questline's wacky hijinks and may make a separate guide for side missions and DLC. A separate video for such things would be quite needed as there is just so much that you can go through. But, since the time has come, let us put on our special boy hats, take our morning vitamins, and find out what you can experience in Fallout New Vegas. So the game starts when you wake up with a headache worse than you get after playing Fallout 76. And you are greeted by your knight in shining armor, Doc Mitchell. And after realizing that the several ounces of lead that forcefully entered your skull somehow made you prettier, it is time to allocate your special points. Special points are what make your character special, hence the clever acronym. Strength, perception, endurance, charisma, intelligence, agility, and luck. These are the core stats that will determine the multitude of fun party tricks you can unlock and utilize, otherwise known as skills, perks, and traits. From the simplicities of better damage output or increased healing capabilities, to turning that one annoying neighbor into a midnight brunch, the vast selection of these neat little surprises guarantee that it will be near impossible to have the same playthrough twice. You gain more and more of these abilities as you progress through the game and level up, giving you a nice incentive to take care when thinking about XP levels. Once your special points are out of the way, you can discuss with the doc about how good to brain fix, rob him blind, and decide if you'd like to try hardcore mode, which adds hunger and thirst. And then you can make your way out into the live and luscious world that is the Mojave Wasteland. So this is where you are given arguably the most important thing in your entire playthrough, the Pip-Boy. The Pip-Boy is where all your different menus are located, such as stats, inventory, and so on. You will become very familiar with your Pip-Boy very quickly. After all, it does everything. From the simple things in your nuclear life, such as deciding which weapon you would like to use, all the way up to literally stopping time itself. Oh, and you can also set up quick select in the Pip-Boy too, so that's pretty cool. From here, the world is your lobster. You can do anything. Cosplay a murderer, a kleptomaniac, a murderous kleptomaniac, whatever your heart desires. But oh no, Goodsprings is under attack. However, there is no need to be afraid, for with the friendships and connections you have made with the locals in town, you have the power to betray them and help the murderous gang take them over. Phew, that was a close one. With your daily dose of genocide out of the way, now may be a good time to mention that there is also a karma system in the game to show how factions may act towards you. This will make you think twice about killing or stealing everything in sight, as if you do it enough, the faction will eventually become hostile towards you. So committing mass murder to the settlers in Goodsprings may not exactly make you their star pupil, but the powder gangers may let you sit at the cool kids table, so I'd say it's worth it. And now you're off on your way to find out what kind of sentient kitchen tiling shot you in the face. Ask around any common folk you meet about what they know about them, and start making your way towards New Vegas. There are many things you may come across on your way to New Vegas, such as feral animals, struggling settlements, murderous furries, you know, the typical things you'd find in Nevada. Though I should probably at least mention some of the smaller mechanics that the game offers as well. However, I'm also not going to go into too much detail on these either, as I'm an idiot, but also there are way too many to comfortably fit a detailed description for each one in this video. That being said, there are a multitude of cool and innovative mechanics in Fallout New Vegas that, while may not be in the spotlight of the gameplay, do indeed each change the game in their own unique way. For the sake of difference, I shall call these lesser important mechanics sub-mechanics. The most prominent sub-mechanic would be the Vats System. So the basic premise of the Vats System is that it allows you to partake in bullet time powers that would make Max Payne jealous. So when you call upon the almighty gods that grant you this righteous power, time will freeze and a new interface will appear. With this new interface, you can scan around for any visible NPCs, select any of them, select any part of their body, and then attack them with whatever weapon you had equipped before entering Vats. This system allows one the chance to attack multiple enemies in rapid succession while making you feel like the James Bond reincarnate. However, there are a few core weaknesses to the Vats system that stop you from being able to abuse it too much. A couple of these annoying yet crucial weaknesses are the hit chance and the limited action points. See, depending on what weapon you are using and how far away you are from the soon-to-be deceased, there is a less likely chance that the Vats system will actually be able to hit the target. While it is impossible for your attack to miss while using a melee weapon, you do need to be closer to the target in order for Vats to register. There are also these lemon-flavored Tic Tacs down in the bottom right that are your action points. The main purpose of these action points is to limit the amount of attacks you can do in each instance of Vats. Luckily, they recharge outside of Vats, as well as can become more powerful through means such as perks and consumables. Another neat combat-themed sub-mechanic are the different ammo types that you can utilize to your strategic advantage. Some do more damage against non-armored foes, others excel at armor penetration, you get the picture. Just another way to help boost you to the top of the radioactive food chain. Let's not forget one of my favorite sub-mechanics in New Vegas, the sneak attack critical mechanic. What this mechanic does is that whether through Vats or your own ability, whenever you are hidden from view, you are able to do double the amount of damage. You can even boost these criticals to do more than 4 times the amount of damage using certain items or selecting the right perks. I don't know, something just clicks in the mind when you clear a room of enemies that are leagues better prepared than you before they even realize that their squad mate's head exploding was indeed not a symptom of an extreme case of the JFKs. And now it's time for a segment that I'd like to call Guess, or Giving Excellent Strategies Stupidly. This is going to be a small segment where I shall show you some ideas I thought of on how to increase your early game proficiency multiple times over. So the main idea I have for you today is to hella abuse the stealth and karma mechanics in the game. The first step is to either buy or permanently borrow a silenced 22 pistol from Chad in Goodsprings. See, silenced weapons deal extra critical damage, so this is perfect for early game sneaking. Hey, fun fact, when you are hidden amongst the shadows, no one will know that you killed someone unless that someone is a named NPC important to a faction. We can abuse this to our strategic advantage by stealthily nudging NPC's souls into hell and then promptly pawning off their stuff. One of my favorite places to do this is the NCR Embassy on the Strip. This is because most of the unnamed NPCs there have well-repaired armor and weapons, which can go for around 150 caps each. That's 300 caps per person and anywhere from 10 to 15 people on the embassy property. So, depending on how adventurous of a rapscallion you want to be, you can get at least 3,000 caps right there. Reminder that you can do this anywhere to anyone, but I find it easiest to do here. However, another great place for this is Camp McCarran, which is full to the brim with unsuspecting walking money bags for you to remove from this mortal plane. So once you have as much money as you could ever need, you can head to the Gunrunners just south of Freeside. This is where you can buy plenty of guns, ammo, and armor, with of course their inventory being better the higher level you are. Not sponsored. And there you have it, my strategy to become early game overpowered in New Vegas. You may now return to your regularly scheduled dipshit. So most things considered, the armor system is pretty much the same as most other games with armor, wherein higher number equals better armor. Although it should be mentioned that there is little room for individual customization. And by little room, I mean it's about half a linen closet. When it comes to armor and clothing, most outfits are pre-made, with the torso, arms, and legs all being part of a single equipable item. The only exception to this is the head, which may have a hat option depending on your outfit. I guess what I'm saying is the game's armor progression pretty much ends when you get the statistically strongest set, which is fine and works well with a lot of games, but personally I really appreciate games where you can really get in there and customize your looks. especially in an RPG where it can feel like you're more personally invested in the story when you can look unique. I mean, if you're going to be a psychopathic drug-fueled kingpin/pro gambler, it'd be a lot more fun if you can look the part. Healing items and other consumables are a crucial part of any survival game, and I'd say that New Vegas does it pretty well. Now, if you're really big brain about it, you can get through the whole game with only 2 different consumables, Stim Packs and Radaway. Stim Packs give large bursts of instant healing with a nice little caramel drizzle on top, and Radaway does what the name says and removes a good chunk of radiation. These can be improved to heal you even more through the perks and skills in the game. Fortunately, however, there are a few other ways to heal your fragile nubile body, such as eating foods. There are a bunch of different yummy food items throughout the wasteland, whether decades old or freshly made by a yet-to-be corpse. Food, and most drinks for that matter, heal you slowly over time, really making you be methodical with your maniacal takeovers. And if nothing else, you can always find a doctor who will heal you up for a relatively small fee. There's even a small crafting system you can utilize in the game, where you can make ammo, explosives, and cook your own food. I never did much with the crafting system myself other than the cooking, mostly because I don't get the same collectathon vibes in New Vegas as other games have. I just want to shoot stuff and buy shit, but I can see how crafting can become crucial to one's survival if they decided to play that way. So after you either slither through Deathclaw Canyon or you take the scenic route, your treacherous journey to the Strip comes to an end. After all the challenges that you have faced on your way to the Sin City, you're finally here at the main gate, and you need 2,000 caps to get in. Well, seems like you better either sell damn near everything you have or resume your interactive cosplay of Agent 47. Once you have the minimum amount of currency required, you can finally enter the Strip. And after indulging yourself to your heart's content, make your way over to the Tops Casino to confront the living crossword puzzle himself, Benny. Now, there are a few ways you can deal with Benny, with each way changing how the next segment of your overall quest shall proceed. You could kill him, 69 him, or do whatever else tickles your pleasure center. Either way you decide to deal with him, you shall finally be reunited with the package you rudely borrowed and forgot to return to your corpse. And from there, it is up to you with which faction you would like to impede grace with your almighty presence. There's the Legion, the New California Republic, or NCR for all you acronym-obsessed freaks, Mr. House, or you can even choose to ignore all of them and liberate the Mojave Wasteland from them all with help from a little blue pill named Yes Man. However, I felt like siding with the Legion in this gameplay, so that's what you're gonna get. So, when siding with the Legion, and upon arriving to their pillow fort of a headquarters, you will be tasked with destroying the mysterious bunker hidden underneath by the head of the Legion himself, Mr. Salad. Just as a heads up, there will be a few cuddlebots near the exit of the bunker, so make sure to wear your softest and most penetrable clothing on your way out. The next thing on the agenda is to make contact with the sub-factions in the area on behalf of the Legion. This includes the Boomers, the Brotherhood of Steel, and the White Glove Society. Oh, and also you need to kill Mr. House. And did I mention that instead of alliancing with these factions, you could also choose to just utterly decimate their bloodlines? The choice is up to you, of course. The Boomers and the White Gloves were nothing special, an animal carcass in the road for my absolute unit of a protagonist to sweep away. No, it was the Brotherhood of Steel who pissed in my coffee. As for my playthrough, I decided to take to the difficult way of doing things, because I am a stubborn little man who refuses to be told otherwise. Rather than taking the long way, gaining their trust, stealing some detonation codes, and blowing up the Brotherhood's bunker the easy way, I decided to face them head on and smack their Walmart greeter's face with a high-velocity missile. Fighting through the Brotherhood ranks is difficult enough 100 plus hours in, so imagine doing it with less than a quarter of that. For reference, there are a whole 30 levels your courier can fondle their way through, and I was facing these endgame level foes at level 14. This was immensely difficult, but I regret nothing. But, considering how all that equipment they have can be sold for your body weight in caps, I would say this is a pretty good idea for anyone to do at any time. After whichever fiasco you decide to entertain is over, it is time to head back to Mr. Salad for the next mission. Only to find out that his brain has decided that death was a preferable alternative to communism and is about to go wireless bungee jumping. There are a couple ways you can help the old man out. You can apply the ancient art of drunken surgery, you can go rip the heart out of a robot and put it in the one that went through medical college, and so on. Now that Caesar's brain has joined a therapy group, let's go make the NCR's leader have a part in our reenactment of the assassination of Abraham Lincoln. But you'll never guess what part he got. Overall, it's a pretty easy mission if you play your caravan cards right. Just kill them, pick off the remaining steampunk cowboys, and make your way back to base. You know, I haven't told you what the main factions are fighting over yet, have I? Well, fun fact, New Vegas is set in Nevada, and Nevada is home to the Hoover Dam, a dam in real life that blocks the Colorado River and provides power mainly to Los Angeles. This is relevant because it is also in the game, and in the game, the factions are fighting over Hoover Dam to try and take its power output. Now, I don't know about y'all, but that's a pretty heckin' cool way to connect your game to the real world, to help make it feel more realistic. So anyways, today is the day that the Legion is going to attempt to capture the dam from the NCR, who is currently occupying it.
Good.
I hope you brought your lucky roll of toilet paper, cause shit's about to get crazy. The battle for Hoover Dam starts off similarly no matter which faction you side with. You start on one side and you have to fight your way over to the other. Easy enough. Store a couple bullets in your enemy's heads for the winner and make it across. Then the path changes depending on faction choice again. But in this gameplay, I have to seduce my enemies into submission with the power of lead and make my way into the dam. You then continue to fight your way through the 4 generator rooms until you reach General Oliver's compound. Like most things in New Vegas, you have the choice of how you would like to deal with Oliver. However, his tone was very rude, so naturally I opted to attack. This section can be pretty tough, so make sure to bring your 4 emergencies only tactical nuclear catapult for when you get scared. Once Garden Olive is out of the picture and you return to your Horned Angel, you have successfully beaten Fallout New Vegas. Overall, I loved playing through this game. I had a lot of fun meeting people and discovering new equipment. To be honest, I wasn't originally all too excited to try this game out, with my first Fallout game being Fallout 4. The downgrade in graphics and all the infamous glitches and crashes in the game didn't draw me in too much. But I gotta say, I was very wrong. The game's engine, coupled with the graphics and the perfect music selection, despite maybe being objectively worse, gives New Vegas a special charm to it, and I cannot recommend this game enough. Because I just thought of it right now and I think it'd be pretty fun, let's start ranking these. I'm gonna give Fallout New Vegas a nice 90. Mostly because while it's a great game and you can have tons of fun with it, I don't think I can call it perfect. Alright, time for the cringy part. Thank you so much, you guys, for watching. And if you liked it, please leave a like and subscribe. Make sure to check out my other videos too. I'm always making more stuff to show you guys, and I'll see you later, you beautiful morons.